Well, here we are today on Mob Vlog. It is Wednesday. That's Wednesday, August 17th. It's 2 p.m. in Las Vegas. It's 4 p.m. in Chicago and 5 p.m. if you're on the East Coast, like Kal Fagan is. He's our guest today. Welcome back, guys. It's Mob Vlog. Red, we met. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing fine.
Kal Fagan, how are you, sir?
All right, I think.
All righty then. Kal, we had you on, and believe it or not, everybody, we didn't find Kal. Kal found us. I was going and picking up some food one night, and he called me out of the blue. Must have been, what, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock your time, Kal?
Yes.
Well, it was late. You were like, I'm just going to see if maybe he'll answer, right? So
I was shocked.
Oh, he told me all about his life. We talked for an hour or so, and I said to him, we got to have you on the show. So, Kal, you're from where?
Originally from Portchester, New York. That's a small hamlet town, like Happy Days type town with the sock hops and all that. In Portchester, right on the borderline of Greenwich, Connecticut. On the coast.
Very good.
And you made your way out here made your way to Chicago, and you bumped into Mr. Giancana, Sam Giancana.
You don't bump into him. You know he's in the room. You don't exactly bump into him, but I've seen him. And he always had broads on his arm, bevy of beautiful girls. And we were told to back off. My band I had a band called Robbie and the Troubadours. And we played, that's the band, and that's me in front. And
there's a link down below. There's a link down below the video for the Peppermint Twist. That's one of their greatest hits.
No, that's not our greatest hit. Peppermint Twist was Joey D's greatest hit.
Okay, it was a cover.
We did a song called The Lemon Twist because we played a club in Hallandale, Florida called The Lemon Twist. And when we were going down there, I wrote a ditty, a Mickey Mouse version type song of you take your gal, I'll take mine to the Lemon Twist, blah, 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 because Joey D had the big hit. The Peppermint Twist. We hired an engineer. We hired Criteria Studios. They're still big to this day to do a live session. And the song got put out by a guy on Block Records. That was a little subsidiary in New Jersey. He had a linoleum factory, but on the side he favored rock musicians, so he recorded us. And we recorded a song that I wrote called The Lemon Twist, which you could see on YouTube and so forth. There's an importance to that lemon twist as the story goes on further.
I misspoke, Kal. I apologize. I misspoke.
No problem. No problem. I just want to clarify that. There's no problem. I'll be misspeaking, so you'll correct me as well.
It's all good. We got each other's backs here on this show. And the audience has us too. And I just quickly wanted to say hello to everybody who's in the comments. I see all kinds of comments going. And Joe Collada said, thanks so much for the tribute to Frank. If you guys, Frank Collada, we lost him 2 years ago coming up this Saturday. and we're going to play that tribute for you guys sometime at the near the end of the show. So stick around. It's going to go live on YouTube on Saturday. But let's get back to Kal. I don't want to interrupt a whole lot today because there's a lot to cover. Kal, you knew Ken Eto. You knew you've bumped into, or you knew or were around Giancana, but you knew him on a different level, and that's what I want to get into. So the Robbie and the Troubadours, you're managing that band, and where were you booking them around Chicago places?
Yeah, you didn't book with Joe. I tell the story. Richard Pryor tells the story how the mobsters, when they wanted you, they put their arm around you and said, "I love you," but it meant you couldn't go nowhere. You became their pet. We became Joe Eto's pet because we were what do you call a money bank or a cash
piggy bank.
cow. They could use the cash. We could go to a club for a little bit around town, some of the other mobs, but we had to come right back to Joe. We were
Which
the
club
only
did you go to, Joe?
What?
Which club did you go to, Kal?
A club called the I think it was called the Mist. I don't remember because there wasn't so many, but I thought there was a club called the Mist. I could look
There
it up.
There was.
And then we played the Mist. And then the mob built us a club called the Troubadour Lounge.
That was on Walton.
That was on Delaware.
Delaware? Okay.
Yes, on Delaware. Where the French village.
In the Rush Street area.
Was. Yes. I don't know how we were allowed to do that, but I think it was one of Joe's pals, a woman that worked for Joe, and she permitted the mob to build us a club.
Was it Flo?
What?
Was it Flo? Flo?
A very unknown one of Joe's bookkeepers wanted to open the clubs. So I said to Joe, we'll go, but would they build the club and name it after? So we got a guy from Old Town called Samson. He was a famous artist, and he built the whole club by going to junkyards and finding old door panels and painting over old frames and putting barrels into the wall so it looked like they were protruding through the wall. And we had this club called the Troubadour Lounge, but that didn't last too long. And I think Joe had something to do with that not lasting too long.
So it was for this guy that you would have known Sam Giancana, the guy on the far right.
Right. Sort of a mousy guy. The story goes he was some mobster's illegitimate son. The story goes because a meek little guy like that couldn't get that powerful. He controlled everything in Chicago. There wasn't an act that was booked on Rush Street or anywhere that this Larry Leverett wasn't responsible for.
He was the entertainment director of Rush Street.
Yeah, he eventually went to Hollywood and handled Hollywood stars, and he became called Mr. Hollywood. But a very congenial, nice sort of. He taught me all the little tricks how to get in back doors of getting press releases and everything. So everything I know about promotion was through this Larry Leverett. But he was key to Sam Giancana. The story goes the Kennedys made a monkey out of Giancana in the courtroom. Robert Kennedy, you're giggling, you're a sissy boy, you know, all that.
Oh, he said only sissies, only little girls laugh.
Right. So the mob, because Kennedy got in because of old man Kennedy calling up Sinatra to use Giancana to get Chicago. That's how Kennedy became president. Now you're laughing at the guy that got you in office and got your brother in, this worthless brother. No, they weren't worthless.
Attorney General was his brother. He should have been able to control him.
Right. They should have been able to control him, but I honestly, the Kennedys aren't fans of mine, but I honestly believe they were honest, trying to do good type people, but they weren't mob type people. So what happens is, the point was, So when Sinatra wants Kennedy to fly over to his chicken coop, he had a broken down place in Palm Springs. Sinatra borrows money because Sinatra never had money. He was always in the red. He wasn't a good businessman. He made money, but he wasn't a good. Dean Martin was a good businessman. So, anyways, he redecorates his place. He builds a heliport thinking Kennedy's coming. And old man Kennedy steps in and says, "You can't go to the mobster's place." So he ended up to give zest to what do you call it? He ends up Kennedy ends up going to a neighbor right next door after what do you call it? Sinatra spent all this money to fix this place up. There's a reason I'm telling this story. So now they want to clip the whole four of them. They want to Dean Martin, Sinatra, Frank Sinatra, but Giancana, for some reason, has some compassion for Sinatra. He says, "I got a better idea. I got a club called the Villa Venice. It's been sitting in mothballs in the suburbs. Let me let Sinatra and his Rat Pack come in every night and play for nothing. And bring celebrities in, so you could have a Tony Curtis, you could have a Kirk Douglas, Larry Leverett gave me advance notice that this was going to happen. He says, "Cal, you're going to see the biggest thing in Chicago's history." It was so big that the headlines were changing twice a day of what celebrity and what performer was going to work there, but it was all for nothing. Giancana had trailers where you could gamble. You go there, and then they take you. And I think you mentioned something about gondolas. Maybe they transferred it because I didn't go. So with that, it's what they call a bust out. You grab all the money. You don't pay your waiters. You don't pay your help. You don't pay your booze. You don't pay entertainers. And
you charge it.
I would put this in his pocket, and this was to save Sinatra's life. In other words, it was either do that or you're going to get clipped by my pals. I won't do it, but they will. So with that, Larry Leverett says, "Cal, do you want to go to the Villa Venice and see Sinatra?" To this day, I don't know. I'm kicking myself why I didn't do it. But I had broads on the street. I had my own little social life on Rush Street. I was sort of a celebrity by just being the bands. And I saw it was a dapper guy in those days. You eventually, I think, show pictures of me. Like old men said, it was good looking. I really was good.
You're a good looking young man.
Yeah, that's you right there in the center.
Well, anyways, to make a long story short, I don't go. But the idea was that's how Giancana saved Sinatra's life, and that's how the club ran. Now, Giancana wanted to record the thing live. Mm-hmm. But he wanted to use Sinatra's record company, Reprise. There's the image that Sinatra owned Reprise. Sinatra never owned nothing. He was a front for Reprise Records. When he went back to his people at Reprise, they said, "We're not getting in bed with a mobster. But he'll pay. We know he'll pay us. We're not worried about the money part. We don't want to get in bed with him." So this came out 20 years later. It's bootlegged.
Can you hold it a little closer to the camera?
Yes.
It even says Villa Venice at the bottom.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Tilt it a little bit.
Tilt it a little bit.
There you go. Yep.
Okay. Yep. One of the songs, the only one with balls, was, if I could say balls on television.
Oh, yeah.
The only one with balls was Dean Martin. So he has his writer, the famous Sammy Kahn, write a song to the tune of "Lady is a Tramp." I should have thought of it. I could have played it for you. But the idea is, don't make noise because the boss is upstairs. Sam, we're sorry to make noise, to the tune of "Lady is a Tramp." We're doing this for nothing. Don't kill us. You know, everything to give a zinger to Giancana.
Right.
Sinatra would never do it because he idolized Giancana. But what do you call it? I had the balls to rewrite a song about how they were doing this for nothing. So that's my association. Now Giancana would come into the club at the Rumpus Room, but like I said, you see, mob guys, you could take their money. They understand that because that's business. They'll make you pay it back somehow. They'll get it back. But if you fool with their women, their ego is so touchy, you can't look cross-eyed at one of their women.
Didn't your drummer look cross-eyed at Ken Eto's daughter? Tokyo Joe's daughter?
I could tell you a story with Tokyo Joe's daughter.
Right.
I'm walking to the club one day, and she comes out of nowhere and grabs my arm. Take me for coffee. I said, I can't. I'm going to see the band in 15 minutes. There was on Rush Street, there was a club, a coffee shop, an all-night coffee shop next to the Rumpus Room on Walton called Midnight. Midnight, I think it was called. We go in there, and then you showed a little bit of Rush Street.
Yeah.
Mammy's Pancake House.
Mammy's,
Yeah,
right?
That's Mammy's. That's another story with Tony Bennet I could tell you.
Finish your story about the Ken's
So
daughter.
we go into the coffee shop.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I want to tell you the type of girl. In those days, we pictured people from the Orient. I use the word Orient. I don't see why it's offensive, but let's say somebody from Japan or somebody from China. They were timid. We imagined them as timid little girls, like there's a comedian, Joan Chow. I think I'm pronouncing her name wrong. She does the little girl on the salt on the boxes. Oh, we pictured women and the women from. She was right in your face. Baseball cap turned backwards type mentality. Went to the best schools in the world, Harvard, Vassar, and all the best schools. But she was like a tomboy and gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, long black hair like a tiger from that series. Absolutely gorgeous. And the smartest clothes, from the best stores. It was spoiled brat type. But everybody kind of liked the piss and vinegar that she had. Getting by, so this is the type of girl she was. She wasn't a timid little, it's an honor to be with you, Cal.
Right.
She tells you go fuck yourself as soon as look at you. We go into the restaurant and she starts crying. I said, what's wrong? She says, Tone, and she stopped. I said, you got to stop crying because you're going to get me killed. People are looking and they know who you are. I got down I said, I'm begging you. I put on such an act that she started laughing herself. I said, what's the problem? She says, Tony told me he loved me and he's going to marry me. I said, not my drummer, tall, good-looking kid that you've seen in the pictures.
Which one is he?
Tony's on the left-hand side, looking straight at the picture with his arm around Barry at the end. He's the second
middle guy on the left.
Middle guy on the left. Okay.
Yeah, middle guy on the left. Very good-looking, 6-footer, handsome-looking guy. Well, they were all nice-looking guys. Well, anyways, I said to her, you got to stop because you're going to get me killed. Well, I was so scared that she stopped. She says, I said, I'll take care of this. Now I'm still got to go to the club. I go to the club, and Tony's a big 6-footer. He could pick me up with one hand and throw me through a window. I said, you son of a bitch, you motherfucker. He says, what's the problem? I said, you told Joe's daughter you're going to marry her, and I didn't. I said, don't lie to me, you little prick, because I just was in the coffee shop. I said, they'll kill the whole band. I said, if you think the band is behind you, let's join sides, see who's going to root for you and who's going to root for her. So that was my experience with Tokyo Joe. I guess it's derogatory, but that was his nickname.
Right.
Of my experience with Joe.
So how about Tony Bennet? Mammy's pancake
Like,
house.
okay, Tony Bennett is a story. Then he comes in with you Hefner. They see the band playing. There's a reason you're showing the stretch limousine. They see the band playing. They fall in love with the band. End of the night, Tony Bennett yells out, "Meet me at Hef's mansion," with the approval of Hef being right
Playboy
there.
Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
The Playboy Mansion. Robbie takes it with a grain of salt, thinking it's a joke. He don't mean it. So he goes to Mammy's Pancake House, where all the performers, even a Tony Bennett type performer, after his gig would be in this Mammy's Pancake House. Everybody went there, no matter who you were. Elvis even went there. Everybody's been there to Mammy's Pancake House. The phone rings. It's Tony Bennett on the phone. He says, "Robbie, where the hell are you?" Robbie says, "I thought you were kidding. How would we get there? Because we had our car stored in a parking lot because we never used it. We were a permanent band. We weren't on tour because we couldn't even be on tour with Joe. You had to stay right there."
Joe wanted you right there. He didn't want you moving around.
But he was good to us. He paid us top dollar and everything, and you could talk to him. But he was a guy that you like Richard Pryor said, the mob says you're my pet. I love you, but you ain't going.
What you really call putting the arm on you.
Yeah, right.
Literally putting the arm on you, right?
So Tony Bennett says to Robbie, "Hold off a little while because I'm just stay right." What pulls up on a big stretch limousine in front of Mammy's? Took him there. I understand from the band, because I wasn't there. I was at a place called the Cotton Carnival in Memphis with a guy named Frank DeSantis. He was a well-known hoofer that worked for Flo at the Kit Kat Club. There was a famous nightclub called the Kit Kat.
I remember it.
He was her dancer, and he was also her second man when the husband wasn't around. Frank, a real good-looking guy. He was a pal of mine. So we flew out to Memphis. So I'm doing all this by hearsay. The band told me every floor had a persuasion. If you were gay, there was a gay floor. If you were into drugs, there was a drug floor. If you were into pot, there was a pot floor. If you just wanted to get laid or be with a woman, you had the bunnies.
This is at the mansion in Chicago?
The mansion in Chicago.
Playboy Mansion.
It overlooked the same park. I can't think where the Webster Hotel overlooked. There was a big, like a zoo, like the.
That was Grant Park.
Grant Park.
I can't think of the park. It overlooked the park. He had a big mansion there. I never seen it, but my band told me it was gorgeous. So that was the story of Tony Bennett. I since wrote him to try to remind him, but he won't. I guess he's so old. He's 96. Now there's another story if you want to hear it. Who was the real playboy between Hef and a guy named Vic Lowndes? That was his vice president.
Until he got rid of him.
So what happened was this guy was so good looking and such a woman charmer, the bunnies would give him presents. And Hefner would take steam because he wanted to be known as the lover. But this guy wasn't only a pretty face, he was brilliant in business. He's the one that invented the ears for the bunnies, and he's the one that made them put the Playboy Bunny on the map, because the Playboy Bunny originally was just a key club that was barely making a living. But Hefner couldn't stand him. They were friends, but he couldn't stand them because of the broads that he controlled. They used to come in Mammy's, the bunnies, with gifts that they were ready to take to, and Vic Lowndes would have to kick the women out of his apartment. There were so many women. Wow. So Hefner gets the brilliant idea, send him to he'll bomb if I send him out to England. He sent him to England. He made him a fortune in England. So Hefner says, what am I going to do with this guy? I can't, no matter what he does, he turns to gold. He ends up firing him because he just couldn't stand that this was the real Playboy. I know it wasn't much to look at to start with, as from facial. This guy, the women I never met this guy, this Vic Lowndes, but he did send me a letter. I wonder if I have it. He wanted to do that. What was that play that I told you?
I forgot.
We looked it up. We didn't find it.
It'll come to me. He wanted us to do like a West Side Story type. What was it? I can't think of the name of it.
That's okay, Cal. Let's go on with the story.
All right.
Everybody, while Cal's thinking here, be sure to hit the like button. I haven't said it yet today, but be sure to hit the like button. And if you're just tuning in, I want a quick reminder. We're going to be playing a tribute that Anthony DiMartini Street Stories created for Frank Collada. This Saturday will be 2 years since we lost Frank. So that's coming up later, as well as the trivia question. That's coming up as well. So back to you, Cal.
I can't think of the name. It was a play, like a West Side Story type play, but I can't think of the name of it. And he wanted us to be in it. Wait a minute. If you wait, I can look it up. If you want to interrupt.
Well, no, it's the after show. Are you coming on to my after show?
You gonna hang out in the after show with us?
Yeah, I'll try to if I don't run out of gas.
Okay.
How old are you, Cal?
84. I'll be 85 in December.
And you're still going to school?
I'm working on my fourth master's.
Your fourth master's?
My fourth master's, and when I went to high school, I failed woodshop and had to go to summer school to graduate. And what do you take in summer school? What do you take in summer school to replace a woodshop? My mother was one of those. She had all us kids were good students, and she was familiar with all the principals. She says, "You got to get Mike Hellman through. I don't care how." So they said, "All right, Rose, we'll give him mechanical drawing for the summer," and that's how I got my diploma. Some 50 years later, I start college, and I got to like it. Like Eddie Murphy, Eddie Murphy says it got good to me, and I just continued. I've been on campus for 20 years now. And wow. I have one master's in music, one master's in health administration, and another one in public administration. And this one is to be an advisor, like to give the kids the skinny of what to do when they enter college.
Like a counselor.
You can't be a counselor.
Rather than be a counselor.
But this is giving the advice to the students. You get like a little Mickey Mouse degree, PMG, some initials attached to your name.
That's awesome. So, Cal, tell us about Clive Davis.
Yes. Clive Davis, the college that I go to when I took music, I took it with a guy, Ira Abrams. He handled Gloria Estefan. And he was a lawyer and then became a teacher at Florida Atlantic University, where I was attending. So he ran in the musical course. He ran one of the courses. So yes, I think that's Whitney Houston.
Yes, I think he married Whitney.
I'm not sure about that. But it could be. But Clive Davis was what they call a brown shoe. He came up from the bookkeeping department, but he had an approach that I adopted. Entertainers are products. You sell them just like you're selling a product. So when they moved him into the music department, he knew nothing about music because this is a bookkeeper. He followed their records, what records made a hit, what genres were their biggest hit, and he made sure they played the same music over and over, that same genre. And he very rarely would experiment. He'd make you stick to what you were good at. He built up a repertoire in Columbia Records. And here he was, he knew nothing about music. He just happened to be in Columbia as a bookkeeper. He later, through getting greedy and extortion and everything, they threw him out, even though he was brilliant. Because he was billing the company for his fences, his yard, his gardening, his help. and he formed a company called Arista. And he made a fortune with Arista. Just a brilliant man. Well, anyways, he had an engineer called Glenn Kolotkin, a Grammy Award engineer responsible for Santana, Miles Davis, the Bee Gees. I'm reading off a chart, some of the Chicago, Donovan, the Four Tops, you name it. I could go on and on and on. So the idea with Ira Abrams, he was going to put two old farts together like a joke. Well, when we met, we fell in love with each other because we handled the same people, we knew the same people, we spoke the same language. So me and Glenn became friends. Now, Glenn wasn't a businessman, or he should have been like the head of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, John Landau, who was also an engineer. But he worked for Bruce Springsteen, and he became the head of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and made millions. And he wrote that, what's that ship that crashed? The Titanic, I think.
Titanic.
Yeah. So he was a businessman, this John. Glenn was just an engineer, a fantastic engineer.
Right.
So they was going to put the two of us together as a joke, and naturally we made it because it was the joke was on them because we. So Glenn, I go to his house one day. He puts a pin spotlight on me, and says, "Tell your story." So I start telling the story of Robbie and the Troubadours, right to the end with Tokyo Joe in it, and it shows clips from Tokyo Joe getting shot and Tokyo Joe turning state's evidence. And now you naturally couldn't show any tapes of the band because the band is dead. In those days, in the 60s, there was no such thing as videotape. You either had to have regular film that you couldn't afford, or there was no. It isn't like today. A producer could take it with his cell phone and film an act in Chicago and send it to China. You couldn't do those things.
Kal, how did the band break up? What happened? You went out to the Thunderbird?
Yeah, you guys went out.
All right. Joe, as discipline, for some crazy reason, took $200 a week out of our salary. And he's going to give it back to us on New Year's. One night, I'm in my apartment, and the band is with me. And the woman that I eventually married calls me up on the phone. We had a fight. And she says to me, "Are you still mad at me?" I said, "I'm mad at you. If you come here in the next half hour, I'll marry you." So I'm showing off for the band because this is all tongue-in-cheek. I didn't think she'd really do this. With that, knock on the door, knock, knock. It's her with one of those little suitcases that you see that you buy in Sears with the cardboard type suitcase, like you board at the old time trains with the stripes on it. She's there, ready to go. We fly out to California thinking you could get married immediately in California, but you can't. And I begged the clerk in California, please, her family's a very Orthodox, it was Italian family, a very religious family. They'll kill me for the time that I'm with her eloping, and we don't come back married. So the guy laughs, and I could put on an act by now. So he marries us. I give a guy pushing the broom $5. He's my best man. So on the way back, we stopped at the Thunderbird. We didn't stop at the Thunderbird. We stopped at the one that was torn down, but they're all torn down now. I can't.
Dunes.
The
Dunes. Flamingo.
We stopped at the Flamingo, and I call up Dave Victorson. He's the head of the Thunderbird. And I said, "I'm the manager of Robbie and the Troubadours. I would like to play in your lounge. I'm here on my honeymoon. Can you give us a contract?" He says, "Oh, I know your band. I'll come out to Chicago to see you. And we'll see." I said, "No, it's got to be done right now," because I knew I was in hot water for leaving the band, going out on this honeymoon thing in the first place. So he says, "Well, type it up." So my wife at the time goes down to the lobby, and there was no computers in those days. You got the old-fashioned Royal type, right? And she
About
typed,
what year was this, Cal?
what?
About what year was this?
This was 1963,
Okay.
just about 1963, I believe, in that area, the late 62, 63. I could look it up, but that's so. Anyway, she typed up the contract, and they're giving us $1,600 a week, and that's not too bad in those days. It sounds
No.
like nothing today, but in those days, 1,600 for 5 guys. And we had to get our own twist singer or some kind of twist dancer. We had to get our own little. I said, "Oh, I'll find one." So now we go back to Chicago, and I don't realize
Oh,
it.
wait a second. To finish up with the Thunderbird. You worked the Thunderbird, right?
No, it doesn't get there. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
We fly from Vegas with the contract in our hand, bring it to band. I know I'm in hot water with the band. I didn't realize I'm also in hot water with Joe. How am I going to get out of playing with him? Because he doesn't let you go nowhere. And he's got $200 a week stored up that he held. $200 that he could give that as a tip to somebody. It was just, for some reason, he was pissed off at us. He wanted to teach us some kind of lesson. What lesson? I don't know what. But anyways, maybe we were late a couple times going on stage. I don't know. So now, what am I going to do with Joe? Forget the band. What am I going to tell Joe to get that we could even play on the stage? So I go to Joe and I say, "Look,
This is Tokyo Joe. Ken Eto.
Joe
Yeah.
Eto." I go to Joe and I say, "Look, I don't tell him I got a contract because he'd say, 'Who the fuck told you you could have a contract?' So I think I could get a contract to negotiate with us. If we go to Vegas, we'll be such a big hit that we'll come back to you as a big milestone, even bigger. And at the time, we were as big as you could be in Chicago anyway, with all the newspapers and everything. I said, we're going to be like superstars."
Once you play Vegas, you're now direct from Vegas.
Right, exactly. Well, that was all. And then with a guy like Larry Leverett to promote it, and then I brought Larry. I said, "Larry can publicize this." And he agrees. So to my amazement, I talk him into it. Now I know the band isn't thrilled with me because Barry Goldberg never really cared for me. He didn't care for my style with the costumes and everything. Barry Goldberg, if you ever seen the movie The Jerk, where Steve Martin thinks he's black.
Yeah.
That was Barry Goldberg. He wanted to be a blues singer with Bloomfield and Cooper and Paul Butterfield and all those guys. So he never approved of all these costumes and everything and makeup and all that and special songs and publicity. He was used to playing in like a place like an old burnt out barn type thing. So he stirred the band up. Look at your manager. He went out to California. He never, so I knew I got so I'm holding on to the band. So I present the contract. Now, this is everybody's narcotic and dope. Every entertainer's narcotic is to play Vegas. When they seen the contract, they're right, because we were at one point ready to play Vegas for free on a trial basis, just to say we played Vegas. And here we're getting paid for it. So we buried the hatchet with that. Now we go to Vegas. Oh, and while we're driving to Vegas, there's this song, "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles. And I said, all they are is the Everly Brothers. So Barry's and as much as me and Barry didn't get along, he knew music. He was brilliant with music. That's why the band would get rid of me before they'd get rid of Barry. That's how good a musician he was. He ended up playing with everybody.
So what happened once you got to the Thunderbird and played?
So, okay, so now we go. He says, "Oh, no, these are going to be giants," meaning the Beatles. He's seen it. Okay. We get to Vegas. Dave Victorson isn't there. He's in New York looking for an unknown group called the Beatles. I'm being facetious, tongue-in-cheek, because the Beatles just came out with "I Want to Hold Your Hand," but they weren't on top. smash hits. Now, the difference between the lounge and the main room is just a piece of lattice, like a fencing that you see in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
We were so loud that we were distracting the gamblers because they hear all this bang. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, blah, 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 and drums beating and horns playing. Who the fuck are these faggots making all this noise? I came here to gamble. This isn't a nightclub. This is so we were on thin ice. Dave Victorson comes back, and he was supposed to pick up our contract. We had an option to be picked up. He says, Cal, I seen the band. They're great. If you guys could stay together for a couple of weeks, I'll rebook you. But I couldn't pick up your option because of the bad reports I heard from what he called. Well, even Elvis bombed in Vegas.
He did.
First time out.
Yeah, first time out.
We got written up by everybody. The columnists knew different. When they came in the club, every columnist in Vegas said the greatest thing since sliced bread. I showed this to David. He says, I know you're good. I've seen you. He says, but you just didn't go over with my associates here. But I'll bring you back.
Yeah.
The band said, no, fuck you. We're quitting. And me, I was a degenerate gambler at the time. I was losing the bands. I was losing. In those days, it was big money to lose $700,000. I lost like $1,000. It was dipping into the band's pay because
almost like Colonel Parker.
Yeah, I didn't mean to steal, but I kept going to the cages and borrowing another 100. First thing you know, I'm in to wake up. I had a ring that I was supposed to give my wife as an engagement ring that my father gave me with a big diamond in it. No, he let me buy it. I end up losing that in the pawn shop downtown.
Oh God!
Now I'm into the cages for about $800-900. So I write my mother and father, and I said, no. I wrote the girl. I said, I'm going to get killed one way, either by the mob or by the band. I think she sent me the money.
Wow.
I said, and by the way, P.S. I lost the ring that we were going to convert into.
Oh my God!
So what happened? You went back to Chicago without a
contract. We went back to Chicago. So now we got to face. Oh, when we left for Vegas, it was New Year's Eve. He pays us all in cash. I think it amounted to like $4,000 or $5,000. My future wife, no, it wasn't future. She was my wife at the time. She says, let's watch them bring in the New Year, 8, 9. So I said, are you out of your fucking mind? These killers will kill us for this kind of money. Let's get home with the money. I had it all in cash. So I paid off the bill. So now we go back to Chicago. We intimidated Joe into giving us the money back that he owed us anyway. It was ours, but he could say, I'm not paying you. He says, Cal, you're finished. So naturally, you don't say, well, I got a contract. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I started this way. Okay, Joe. I was glad to get out with my life that he didn't have, because he's been known. There's stories where one of his girlfriends was in love with a musician. They chopped his fingers off.
God.
I mean, these guys, we don't know what they're capable of doing. Joe wouldn't do it, but he'd know somebody would. You'd be dead.
Not the people you want to mess with. That's
not
for
the
damn
people
sure.
You want to mess with. So I just left.
So
band.
Cal, can you finish? Can you finish up this story? Adam's got to do something, and then join us on my
We're going to do trivia, but you're lucky you got out of this with your life.
Yes. So with that, the band continues to work for a guy named Tony Paris at the same rumpus room, and they somehow, without management, they just busted up and they all went their separate ways. Fortunately, every one of them went on to greatness. One went with Devil with the blue dress on, with Mitch riding his right wheels. Another one on with the
all except Robbie.
Except Robbie. Robbie, for some reason, they were always jealous of because he was like a Jackie Wilson. No front man wanted him on stage. He was the only white guy that performed like a black man. Had the gravel voice, had the move.
Yeah.
His idol was Jackie Wilson, but he could dance better than Jackie Wilson or James Brown put together. But if you ever seen this guy, he was unbelievable. So anyway.
So, Kal, let's talk about this in the after party, about where these guys went, Robbie and the Troubadours, and we'll talk about each one, which we're gonna start. That's in the description down below, guys. If you want to click on it and go
You
to
mean
the
we're almost done?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. We're doing trivia right now.
Oh my God, I deal with my chapel.
It flew by, didn't it? Just flew by. It's so your stories are intriguing. Again, folks, I hope you realize the reason that we didn't read comments today was because we really wanted to hear these stories and we didn't want to interrupt Kal a whole lot. And so if you guys want to join us in the after party, we're going to take a lot of your comments there.
Can you show my email?
We got Kal. If you guys want to contact Kal,
it's not over, Joe. It's not over.
It's not over yet.
I'm looking for talent. Me and Glenn are looking for talent.
So if you guys have any kind of recording talent out there, call Kal. His number's in the description down below. Look, we literally put his number in the description. And we warned him that he's going to get a lot of phone calls.
I hope I do. I love to talk anyway.
There you go. So with that said, let's do the trivia, guys. Last week, and let me watch the comments here. Red, you got watching the comments. And folks,
I'm ready.
Understand, because this happened last week to Don Berlin, that if you type in the comments and you hit send, it may show up on your screen as you being first, but everybody else is going to see it differently. So we're going to go with what the majority sees. Okay. So let's do the question. This is the question. Last week, Red and I discussed different mob bosses. This is a two-part answer. You have to have both of them. And you need to be able to call in so that you have to have a phone to call in to spin the wheel. And you guys also got to hit the like button, okay? So here we go. Last week, we talked about two different mobsters that both were claustrophobic. What were their names? That's the question today.
Easy, guys. Two claustrophobic.
You got to have both of them. You have to have both of them.
No answers yet.
Not yet. They're going to come in. People are typing. I have faith in this audience. I have faith in all the prescribers. And we're also...
Where's the wheel?
We're also going... Well, we're going to spin the wheel as soon as somebody gets the answer first. Wheel of a deal you can't refuse. Nope. You guys...
It's not Hanson and Giancana. No. It's not Accardo and Cerrone.
No, not Colada. No. Cerrone, no. Hanson, no. Wow, they haven't gotten even one of them right. No one has. Oh, Holman Sanders. Holman Sanders. You got one of them. Oh, shoot. We got ourselves a winner. Big Tuna. No way. We got Big Tuna. Gussie Alex and Frank Nitti. That's the correct answer. Big Tuna, call the number on the screen. We have ourselves a winner. So, Big Tuna's little sister was on the tour at one point in time, but Big Tuna himself has not been on the tour. But you're about to be on the show as soon as you call the number, Big Tuna. So please call in on the number. And while you're calling in here on the number, Big Tuna, we're going to have you spin the wheel. See what you're going to win this week. Yeah, Holman, you were really close, man. you were really close. Big Mo, Gus Alex was the boss. We talked about him last week, yes.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
The name of the thing was Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye Bye Birdie. That was the
right.
play. Yeah, that's the play that you were trying to remember earlier.
Vic Lounge wanted.
That was a musical they were looking for you for.
Right, they wanted you guys to be in. So Big Tuna's won the wheel spin, but Big Tuna's not calling in.
How come you're not calling in, Big Tuna? How about the number?
Sure. I mean, I'll put it in the
702.
I just put it in, guys. If you're looking, there it is. James Marvin. Yes, you're right, Alex and Nitti, but you're driving. Big Tuna. So he is not calling in. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this. I was going to wrap the show with this, but maybe we
I'll
need
tell
to.
you what. I'll tell you what. Just let.
Here we got him. We got him. Hold on.
Cal, we're gonna let him do the what you call it. We're gonna let him do the spin the wheel
Yes.
that he's doing now,
Yes.
and then we'll go over to my channel
Okay.
and do an hour if you want.
Yeah, I got other stories I could tell you.
Good.
The plane crash. I could tell you the plane crash.
There's a lot of stories you could tell us. I know.
How'd I do so far?
Very good, Cal. You're on the air. So whatever, you're doing fine.
All right, so we have Big Tuna on the phone, and I'm just verifying him right now. And as soon as he verifies, we're going to spin the wheel of a deal that you can't refuse, and he's going to have the chance to win a picture, a book, maybe a mob tour for 2, a USB stick, a pizza box. But you don't want to land on LMBR. That's Lake Mead Barrel Ride. Okay,
Bring your own barrel.
Lake Mead Barrel Ride. All right, Big Tuna's verified. And how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How's everybody else doing?
I'm doing pretty good. So's Red and Cal. It seems like we had a pretty good day. But where are you from?
I'm from the Joliet area.
Joliet area. Okay.
815 area code.
You sent your sister out here on the tour.
Yeah, that's right.
When are you coming?
Buddy, I don't know. I got a lot of things going. I'd like to get out there. Talked it over with the wife a few times, but it's just with the kid in college and everything else, it's kind of tough sometimes to get away and get out that way. But
all right,
it's it's great to be on the show. Love you guys, man. I've been a follower for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited here. Let's just get it on.
All right, let's get it on. Here we go. And the spin, it's off. And it looks like Big Tuna is going to get, a picture. So close to a pizza box. Big Tuna, we're sending you a photograph. Or we can auction off the photograph.
What was that? You broke up there.
Your choice, guy. Your choice, buddy.
A photograph, or you want us to send you one?
Sure, let's auction it off.
Okay, let's auction it off. Who'll give us $1? Let's start at $1. You can, by the way, you can support the channel. You can support the channel if you want to go to mobmento.com. You guys can buy mob memorabilia there. You can download a few free things, like the front of the casino movie script that's all autographed. I mean, you'd be getting a copy, but it's still cool for a man cave. So anybody gives $1 for the photograph.
Can I hear $1? $1
$1 for the photograph.
It costs more than that to ship it.
It actually does. What do you do for a living, Big Tuna?
I'm a railroader.
Railroader?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Working on the railroad. It's a railroader. That's cool. Somebody's got it. He's got it. Julie M's gonna $5. Julie M's gonna go $5. Do we hear $10? Anybody wants to go $10?
$5. I hear 10. 10. Come on.
And which is kind of goofy, but we wanted to give something back.
$5. $5. $10. Do I hear 5? 10.
Nope. Nobody's going $10. $5 to Julie M. No one wants to go $10. $5 going once. $5 going twice. And so Julie M is getting $5. And we're going to donate that. Oh, Bobby Bag of Donuts. Sorry, he hit the button before I said done, but $10, Bobby Bag of Donuts. Do we hear 15? See, that happens as soon as I say it every time. Bobby Bag of Donuts, $10. $10 going once. We're going to close the show, guys, with a tribute that Anthony DiMartini did for Frank Collada in memory of him. This Saturday, it'll be 2 years. Time goes by pretty quickly.
Larry, $15.
$15. Anybody have $20? $20. No, Julie, you'd have to go $20 at this point, or $16. Anybody else?
That's the delay, Adam. That's the delay.
That is, there's a slight delay, and that's what happens. But anyway, $20. So Larry is going to Larry. $20. Bobby
$20
wants one. $20. Anybody have 25? 25. It's going for a good cause. It'll be the cause of your
choice. The charity of your choice.
Legitimate cause. It can't be like going to the charity of Big Tuna. That's your favorite charity, isn't it, Big Tuna? I know mine's the Adam Flowers charity.
Bobby Bag of Donuts. Bobby sold for $20.
All right.
I'll be like Red. I take anything I can get.
Going twice. No, we don't ship internationally, Mr. Soprano. Sorry. I should have mentioned that. Julie M, $25.
Put up there, Julie, $25.
$25 for Julie M. All right, then we hear $30. This is cool because you can actually go buy the thing for less than that on the website if you wanted to. Julie M. Anybody's got $30.
If you outbid
Julie M going once, 25. Julie M going twice. Bobby Bag of Donuts, last chance to 30. $25. Sold for $25. That's it. Good enough time. That's that. Julie won. Big Tuna. Hey, buddy, can you hear us? Big Tuna?
Hello, Adam?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you broke up a little bit.
Okay. Hey, can I text you at this number?
You want my phone number?
No. Can I text you at this number that you're calling from?
Yes.
Okay, I'll text you after the shows today. Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. And
okay.
And you have a great day, man. God bless. All right.
All right.
Thank you, Big Tuna.
You guys keep up the good work with the show, man.
Hey, thanks. Thanks so much. We will. All right.
All right. We'll tune in next show.
Awesome, man. Have a great day. All right, Julie M. You
wow.
Oh, geez, Rick Charlton wanted to donate $200 trillion and 12 cents, but we already closed the bidding, Rick, so you can't donate the $200 trillion.
We can't do trillion anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, Julie M. You need to call in. Or send a text. That way we can get you on the show. But you won, so please call the number on the screen there, and we will figure out what we're going to do with that charity money, and then we're going to start our after party, which is going to happen here in just a few minutes as soon as we finish here. But call in, Julie M. It's your turn. So, and guys, there we go.
There we go.
Okay, I just wanted to check before I put you on live. How are you today, Julie?
I'm doing great.
Where are you from?
I am from Iowa City, Iowa.
Okay, Iowa City, Iowa. Wow.
Yes, Julie got my book.
Julie, can I call you back at this number after the show today?
That'd be fine.
Well, we wanted just to thank you on air for doing that. It's very kind of you, and you're going to get a picture of Red and I sent out.
What is your charity, Julie?
Can I donate or
what charity do you want it to go to?
I was trying to think. Can I do it for the wounded vets?
Sure, the disabled. You want to go to the sure, Disabled Veterans of America?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to the vets again, guys. So I will call you back at this number in about an hour and a half here. Okay, Julie?
That's fine.
Awesome. You have a great day.
My show afterwards,
Thank
Julie.
you.
Join us.
You too.
We'll see you at Red's after party.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cal, thank you so much for being on the show today.
I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it.
Join us in the after party, Cal.
Terrific.
I'm here.
We're going to do the after party. Guys, I told you that we would play this, and that's what we're going to do. So, Red, have a great day. God bless.
I'll see
Cal,
you over there.
Thank you. And we'll see you in the after party.
Just stay on now?
Sure.
Hello.
Hey, Frankie, it's Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good for me to come by today to shoot another video.
Yeah. Where you at?
I'm at home right now. I could leave right now.
Take your time. I'll be here.
Las Vegas mobster Frank Collada has died. According to a video post on YouTube, Collada had been in the hospital battling COVID-19 just weeks before his death.
Hello, everyone. In case you didn't know who it was, or it is, it's me, Frank Collada. You can get away with this life, yeah? Gotcha, don't get me mad.
There would have been no casino movie and probably not a good casino book without Frank Collada.
The local FBI office announced tonight they have federal warrant for the arrest of Frank Collada.
Now I'm going to tell you this song. Oh, Fungo. You sure you want me to sing it? Collada, Collada, a lot of ching, ching, ching. Who's the coolest guy in town? A lot of swagger and a lot of charm. Collada, a Fungo. That's it. Ching, 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 ching.
Is with a heavy heart that I tell you that Frank left us. And he passed away this morning at 12:50 a.m.
I think about them every day. And as long as you think about somebody, they remain alive.